a negative topic for a TEDx talk. So, why is pessimism a good thing? First of all, a very good afternoon. My name is Rahul Maheshwari. My close friends back in New Delhi kind of see me as somebody who's doing a lot of fancy work with a lot of numbers, but they don't really know what I get to do on a day-to-day basis. They just think I'm living in a separate country because I'm based out of Chennai. I'm here to talk about a topic which may seem a little bit weird at the beginning, but then stick with me for the next 15, 16 odd minutes. If you can go through a 33-year-old single guy talking about negativity. No, I'm just kidding. So maybe one or two things if you can just take from this session, and maybe if it sticks with you, then maybe we'll have a good one, yeah? So there are two kinds of people, right? There is one which is the very, very exuberant, very, very confident. They have the confidence of that Antila building in Bombay. They want to conquer the stage, and they want to conquer this planet and then the next planet, and they are really, really gung-ho about life, right? And then there's a second kind which is slightly more muted, a little bit like some of you maybe, a little bit muted in terms of maybe having that little bit less confidence. Maybe they have hidden genius amongst themselves, but then that lack of confidence maybe or that lack of self-belief kind of gets into the way. Can you connect with this second type of person a bit more than the first maybe? A bit more? A bit more on the right-hand side, the one who has a little bit of a self-doubt. If I were to talk about myself, guys, I would also kind of fall in that second category for sure. Because if anybody told me about a decade back that 10 years later you'd be delivering a TED talk in front of 100 plus people in a college, I'd just laugh at them. And then I'd laugh again. Because there was no way that was happening. I was super professional in avoiding all social contact. If this college was giving out an MBA degree for avoiding social interactions, I would be top of the class, for sure. So why am I here and why am I speaking about this topic is because when it comes to people like us, the introverts, the pessimists of the world, some features come for free as upgrades. It's just like that action button on that iPhone 16, right? Nobody wants it. But you just have that protruding button now because that's a free of cost upgrade that you have it, right? So we have a little bit of a self-doubt. We have overthinking. We kind of are not very sure what life has next for us. We are a little bit of that underconfident. We have somewhat those self-doubts which kind of keep us behind achieving the success that we really can about, right? And all of these really then become the recipe which is called as anxiety. And then that is also something that keeps, triggering us day in and day out. So if I were to talk about myself a little bit, in my case as well, I jumped into CA directly. I missed college. When I see all of you having those midnight sessions and dorm parties and then not so fun mugging up till 4 a.m., I really envy all of you guys. I think that, wow, these guys are living the life, even though if you guys may not believe so. But then for CA interns, you get to develop your EQ on cold pizza and colder coffee at 6 in the morning, never-ending spreadsheets in that client's stingy cold conference room. So maybe you can envy some of my life as well at times, right? So let's get back to you guys. If you were to take a step back, right? If you were to see your own lives and how the last few years have been. It's been a race, right? College life is hard, isn't it? Is it hard? Is college life difficult? The last 3 years have been a race, right? So when you look at your life, when high school began and then there were examinations and then you had to really study hard because you had to get good marks, and then good marks was really important because you had to crack that good college, and then you were able to crack the college, but then now the hustle starts in terms of getting good CGPA scores because that's very important for your getting your next job, and then there is the campus placements where there's an absolutely different level of a race which is going on, right? And then what does everybody around you tell you, your mentors, your parents, your family members? That, you know what, beta, hang in there. This is the last mile. This is the last milestone. Once you are able to crack that job, your life will be settled. You will be all, settled, and you will be kind of now living an easy life, right? Isn't that what people around you tell you? Last milestone, hang in there. Spoiler alert, guys. The race never starts. The race never stops. It just becomes a marathon. The marathon becomes something which is called as career management. Imagine this, after doing all of this hard work, you kind of move into a zone wherein you want to get it, you get your really prized job that you were really going after. You are able to crack that job, you are able to, suit boot up, you have that glimmer in your eyes, you want to work hard, party harder, meet new people, have a lot of confidence in life, and then suddenly 3 months down the line, you start realizing that, okay, maybe this is not really my cup of tea. I'm slogging too hard. I'm not sure whether this is the right thing for me. But then I can't really lose my job right now, or I can't really exit right now, or I can't really make the next move right now because I just came. But then I have to get at it, I have to go at it, and I have to keep doing something that I have to do. Something very similar happened with me in my initial part of my career as well. I got that dreamy consultancy job, but it was somehow not my cup of tea. And then what essentially happens is that while on the outside we are kind of calm, but there's a lot of chaos inside, right? All of these negative thoughts, all of these self-doubts kind of come into the center, and then we don't really know what to do with it. And again, our mentors, our friends and family members, what do they tell us? Beta, positive thinking, power of manifestation, drive these negative thoughts away. What are you doing? You can't think negative. And then what do we end up doing more often than not? We just keep suppressing these thoughts. We just keep pushing them back in the back end, but not realizing that these thoughts are actually not ending. They're just getting suppressed, but they're also getting built up in the back end, right? So a lot of people, a lot of talks are about how positive thinking is the differentiator, how positive thinking will actually lead you to success, but I have a slightly different point of view. Why negative thinking is not good? If anything, I want to prove after the end of this talk, through my journey in this life, that negative thinking is actually good. It's good to be a pessimist. So, talking about my journey, I then had to kind of understand that yes, this corporate world is not for me, at least in that particular firm. And then I started searching for jobs. I had a campus placement as well. Yes, we do that in CA. But then I wanted a very specific job in a very specific niche segment in FMCG. I only wanted to work in Delhi NCR because that was my hometown. And I selected all of these ticks in the campus form, thinking these are just preferences, right? And I waited for all of the companies to, roll out a carpet for me that, let's wait to get shortlisted. All of the 2 companies that shortlisted me were not impressed that day. And there was also a fear of missing out because my best friend got his dream company, a package, while I was the one who walked out empty-handed from that campus. 2 months later, the same company, same dream company, same package, offered me to fly me from Delhi to Calcutta to have an interview. And I thought, wow, this is a really interesting moment. I'm from a humble beginning, so it was probably just the second or third flight of my life. And I was very excited. I landed in Calcutta. I was running on the streets, almost got knocked down by the tram because I later realized that they run on the same streets there. Went to the office where it was supposed to be my interview, but I did one smart thing. I was working on a client in the previous firm, and therefore I rescheduled my interview for 1 week later. They were pretty free, I think, that day because my interview started at 10 in the morning. It ended at 4 in the evening. I still remember the HR's name there by heart. Sheila, she just called me and then she told me, you know what, we already rolled out offer letters last week. You should not have rescheduled your interview. So I was finding newer and newer ways to fail. I came back dejected. Again, all of the negative thoughts were kind of right at the top. And then one thing kind of hit me. Why am I letting these negative thoughts become my enemy? And why am I actually not trying to, acknowledge it, listen to it, accept it, and then react to it or respond to it rather than just trying to make them go away? So here's what I did next. I realized that this is not happening. I'm killing myself day by day in the corporate job that I was in. One day I just, waltzed into the office, opened my laptop, typed in my resignation letter, hit that send button, and then just walked back home. It sounds cool right now, but I was terrified at that particular moment. But what I did was, I asked myself, and this is a thought that I would want to leave with you guys from today's talk. Is it really a risk? Is it really something that we are really going to lose if we were to do something? Or is it just a fear that our mind creates for us to not do something and then therefore not achieve that? Are we negative thinkers because something has happened as a past experience which makes us that way? Or is it more a fear which was created by our mind and therefore we are not able to move in that direction? So once I let that chip go And once I kind of had that I have nothing to lose kind of an attitude, just got a call randomly from Nestle. On the Valentine's of 2014, I got onboarded. Why was I able to crack that interview was because I had nothing to lose. There was no fear in my head whatsoever. I killed that fear of failure like you had presented in your slides. And that was how it was something that I was able to achieve as a success. But then, it wasn't even over there, because even now, even why I am here today is yet another story of how things kind of move along very quickly in life. When you get into a leadership position after a point of time, it's obviously a very big step up, right? And from that perspective, if you're offered a promotion and then a profile which you don't really, which doesn't really excite you, it's something that could be a thought in your head that, okay, I'm getting a promotion, I'm getting fast-tracked in my career, but it is for something which I may or may not really like on a day-to-day basis. So to pass up on that promotion, going through that negative thought cycle, applying for a role which was a dream role of mine, competing with 20 other candidates, finally being the last two candidates in the history, in the reckoning for that particular profile, didn't get that role. Bazinga. In my life, Bazinga also corresponds with the time when some movements do not really happen the way you expect them to be. While Sheldon and for the optimists of the world, it was more about a prank or a joke. For me, it was about the joke or the prank which life kind of at times played with me. But then every time something happened, the reason why I'm here, standing here in front of you delivering this talk was because the guy who was selected for that dream role was earlier working in Chennai, and I was offered the regional commercial controllership one shot without any interviews, and this is why I'm here right here. What am I here to talk to you about? If I would have been an optimist, I would have probably just continued in that consultancy role, thinking that things will keep getting better, but I would have killed myself day by day for it, knowing it is not something that I would be able to manage. Probably the pessimist in me decided that yes, probably this is not my cup of tea, I'll be able to accept it and move on, and I then tried to create a plan around it. If it was about my next role, if I would have taken that promotion, but for that role which probably did not excite me, I would have been promoted, but would have I been happy? Rather, I was okay to kind of wait for my time, but I was content at the time because I used to love what I did. Why is pessimism a good thing? If I were to kind of wrap it up, one, it builds resilience, because when you are pessimistic in life, when you are taking care of every possible eventuality and you are taking care of it, it automatically starts building your brain towards the resilient mindset. And if you are able to trick your mindset, if you are able to trick your brain, that it is easy to kind of fall in that trap of, or a vicious circle of negative thinking, but if your brain is able to take that one step ahead, that, okay, this could be a negative circumstance, yes, I could not crack that job, maybe I don't know what's ahead for myself, but then I kind of start thinking, okay, how do I beat it? How do I beat it? Which brings me to my next point. You will start growing from failures. You're already expecting the worst, right? You're already expecting something will not go right in my life. You're already expecting that maybe I'm not good enough to do this or execute that in life. So the moment you fail, half of your mindset is already kind of predicting it, and therefore the turnaround time between your failure and then your next attempt to kind of work at it becomes much lesser. Because that means that you will be able to quickly get up from your failure and move towards the next goal. Next, your mind will preempt the worst, which essentially means you are already at all points of time thinking negatively, are thinking about, okay, this could go wrong, this could go worse. But then your mind can also think about, okay, what could go wrong further? Do I really have anything to lose? If anything that I'm standing right here, it is a proof that I have been able to preempt the worst and plan ahead. And once your mind kind of starts thinking in that manner, you can really turn negativity into a superpower. Last but not the least, it leads to ultimately smarter decision making, because you're prudent, you're grounded, your mind is not allowing you to get too high in the ambition space, and at the same time you know what your negatives are, what you need to work on. If you're able to take that next step and start making smarter decisions, that's the reason why I am here standing in front of you. It's good to be a pessimist. Thank you so much. You have been a lovely audience. That's my time.